How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Syracuse Aviation and welcome back to another airport update of Cedar Creek Regional Airport. Today's update is the 10th update for this airport, and I have some very exciting news for this update. So this isn't going to be your typical Cedar Creek update. There's going to be a lot more to it than what I usually have. So with that being said, we're going to get right into it. Beginning right here at Gate 1, we have the Delta Airlines Airbus A319. Of course, this aircraft is going to be doing some service down to Atlanta today. This is a 5-daily flight. I don't know if I ever mentioned that in the past. I don't think I did. If I did, then oh well. But that may seem like a lot for a regional airport, but I guess it's just really popular, so that's why it's 5 daily. And the 319, I think, is a really cool aircraft for that destination. I think it fits really well. So I'll be eager to see if this gets any upgrades. I'm thinking it probably won't. I think the A319 serves a really good purpose. So if it did get an upgrade, I think the frequency would definitely be downgraded. So, but the airport is expanding pretty quickly in the city of Cedar Creek as well. So we'll have to see in the future what happens. But for now, it's the 319 5 daily to Atlanta. Next to him at Gate 2, we have the Delta Connection CRJ 700. This aircraft is going to be operating a flight to New York LaGuardia today. Still going pretty strong in the CRJ 700, not much else to say there. And at Gate 3, we have the American Eagle Embraer 175 operated by Envoy Air. Okay, so the Charlotte service has been upgraded to an E175, which is very exciting to see. I know I talked about it potentially being upgraded. I think even in the last update when we had our special guests, I think it was noted that it would be cool to see this upgraded soon. So here it is, the Embraer 175. Still a 2 daily service to Charlotte. I think that that's a perfect aircraft and a really nice frequency for that destination. And I just think everything there fits together super well. So very excited to see this. Definitely very useful to have this, and gonna do some great works here at the airport for Cedar Creek. Over here at this hard stand, we have the Allegiant Air Airbus A319. Again, it's at a hard stand. It has the air stairs attached to the aircraft at the current time. This typically isn't what you'd usually see here, but there's a reason for that I'll get into in a couple moments here after we get done with this. So, again, Allegiant 319, this aircraft is going to be doing a flight out to Orlando Sanford today. The reason, I'm just going to transition from this frame into kind of what we're looking at here with the airport. So, the reason it's at a hard stand is because there is some pretty major stuff going on at the airport here today, and it's going to be this way for quite a while. So if we look over here, this is actually typically where Southwest and Allegiant both would park. You can see that there's jet bridges all lined up here. So the airport has announced some absolutely crazy, huge plans to expand and do a crap ton of renovations to the buildings, the parking garage, and the whole airport property itself, including a new runway. So we'll get into that in a couple moments, but they detached 2 of the jet bridges, and they've been getting more here. So basically, they have more glass jet bridges on order. I think about, I want to say there's 6 or 8. I think it's 6 more coming that'll be delivered to the airport soon. They just haven't been attached. So this is going to be a holding area for a bunch of construction equipment. Now, obviously, this isn't something we'd, prefer to have happening here, but this is kind of what we're dealing with. So there are 2 standard jet bridges that have been delivered that, so it's going to be a mix at first of glass jet bridges and standard jet bridges, but we have taken delivery of 2 more standard jet bridges here, and they've detached the older 2 that were here before. So over time, it will slowly be built up into most likely all glass, but it'll probably take a little while. But we are obtaining some materials that will be used for the construction. So there's that little bit, and with all that being said, we're actually going to get into the bigger details now. So I ended up making a whole sheet for the project overview of what's going to happen here at Cedar Creek. So taking a look at the top, this is just kind of the introduction, kind of explaining what's going to happen. So I tried to make this look official just because I want things to seem realistic. So there's kind of the title and all of that. Here's what we're looking at. So for the building improvements, new passenger boarding bridges, which I've already gone through. Those are estimated. These are all estimates, by the way. But those are expected to cost $7,500,000 total for the existing bridges to be replaced, whether they're standard bridges or glass jet bridges. So these are just for the this is just for the existing bridges to be replaced. Now there's going to be an 11-gate expansion. That's going to cost around 27 million to 28 million. Right now it's at about 27.5, so that's pretty crazy. But again, that's for 11 additional gates on top of the gates that we already have that we're going to replace. After that, we have passenger terminal extension and renovation. This is huge. This is going to be the majority of the project. This is what's going to cost most of the total amount of money that we're going to spend. So obviously this is just model stuff, but if this were real life, this is kind of around what it would be from what I estimated. So the new terminal expansion and renovation of what we currently have is going to be about $755 million. So that's obviously a pretty hefty amount of money, but this is something that the airport's needed for a while. I guess I can take you guys for a little look at the airport currently, what we're dealing with, and why they decided to do it. Next up, we have the reconstruction of the air traffic control tower. Obviously, if you guys have watched the updates, you know I don't have one yet. I guess there's always been one that existed, I just never showed it. So that's going to be $3.5 million to build. It's not going to be anything too special, but it's going to be pretty nice, I guess. So obviously it's not going to be something like what Phoenix Sky Harbor has or anything too massive, but it's going to be pretty nice. So there's that bit of information. And then the airport hotel we don't currently have, so that's why it's an addition. And that's going to be $36,500,000. So now taking a look at the site improvements, we have some runway stuff, some landscaping, and all that kind of stuff. So beginning with the first on the list, we have the resurfacing on the current runway, 1129, which is 6,000 feet by 100 feet, with 40-foot wide concrete shoulders. I've already had this runway for quite a while. I was actually planning to announce. I've been working on a board for this airport for a long time, and the runway has always existed, but I never showed it. I probably should have at this point, but this actually has existed, but I just haven't been able to include it in an airport update yet. But 1129 has always existed. So that's just going to be resurfaced. That'll cost about $35 million. So not a huge thing, but definitely something pretty interesting. So yeah, we can land A319s and such on that dimension of a runway. So it's close, but it can be done, definitely. So there's that. And then there's going to be a new runway installed, which is going to be 1432. That's going to be 10,000 feet by 150 feet wide, so a little bit wider with the asphalt than 1129 is. And that's also going to have 40-foot wide concrete shoulders. That's going to be about $70 million. After that, we have the resurfacing of the parking lots, which is going to be 2,000 spaces approximately is what we already have. That's going to be about $2 million to do all that. Landscaping improvements, so that's just grass, trees, all that kind of stuff, just to spruce things up. That's going to be one of our cheapest things. I think that is the cheapest thing on this whole plan. That's about $750,000. And then the last major thing for the airport that's going to be happening is the parking garage that's going to be installed here. We don't yet have a parking garage. We've just had the parking lots that hold about 2,000 cars. But the parking garage is going to do some really good things here. It's going to be very relieving for the airport to be able to accommodate more spaces. This is going to add a lot. So that's going to be about a 5-story parking garage, and that's going to have around 10,000 available spots. So it's going to be pretty massive, but it's going to be very nice to have that. Also, if the airport does expand even more in the future, that'll already be something we have done, and it won't really cause a lot of trouble if it needs to be expanded again. So they figured they would just try and make it big now, well they can. So that when the day comes where they should have to do that, it'll hopefully already be done. That's going to be about $30 million. So this is a lot of money being spent, but this is something that just general things that the airport's needed for a while. So here's some other things that they want to work on. The ground service equipment replacement, so that's your GSE, obviously, your tow bars, your fuel trucks, your baggage loaders, all of that kind of stuff is going to be replaced. And they actually they don't have as much as they should, and what they do have isn't very good, so they're going to try and get hold of some more. That's going to be about $5 million for all of that, because they need enough for every gate of the airport. Now there's going to be a few gates here that are overflow gates that don't really need a whole lot of GSE there if they're not going to be used that often. So And then after that, we have the airport shuttle service network expansion. So you might not think that that should cost anything if they're just going to be driving to different places, but they're probably going to need some more buses for that and some more maintenance areas and, you know, parts and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to cost them quite a bit. That's something they wanted to expand and be able to have a bigger network and make it more convenient for passengers. That's going to be about $3 million. So, and then we want to hire some new airport officials. I don't know who these guys are going to be yet, but we'll try to figure something out. Obviously, that shouldn't really cost anything. So, yeah, with all of that stuff on the sheet, that's almost $1 billion. Almost $1 billion, which is crazy. I can't even fathom just how much money that is. I mean, I can, but it's just mind-blowing to me that even smaller airports will need, you know, this kind of money to be spent at some point. So, exact number, 975,750,000. So, yeah, that's a lot of money. Man, I don't know when this is all going to be done. Hopefully soon. The first thing we're going to work on is getting the jet bridges delivered, which is already almost done, actually. So that's quite a bit that we won't have to worry about after this, is the jet bridges and the gates and all that. Hopefully the GSC. The GSC, I'm hoping that that'll be one of the next couple of things that we can knock off the list and get that done. So then after that, it'll be the runways most likely. The terminal is probably what's going to be done the last. You'll probably see progress in every update of the terminal being expanded, which is good, but it's not going to happen all at once, obviously. So I already have a bunch of pieces designed for that, and I've been working on getting that constructed. So this is kind of just the unveiling of what's to come for the airport. So that's all we have to go for today. Just all of that stuff. Very excited. Hope you guys are as well. So that will conclude the airport update. So once again, I really hope you guys are excited for what's to come for the airport of Cedar Creek. Hopefully someday it'll become international. I think at this point it's getting pretty darn close to being international. So I just want to get a few more updates of the regional kind of stuff before we go that far. So very excited for what's to come. Once again, hope you guys are too. And with that being said, thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and comment below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.